Hey guys, welcome back. So we got some Bitcoin news. Obviously, we're gonna look into the charts here. Bitcoin's down a little bit for the day. It's down almost 2.5% or so. We got some hopium news for you guys. Bitcoin could possibly get to 60,000 when, and then we also have a news story on Swiss. The Swiss are doing something. Venezuela is doing something as well, and so is Google and Bakkt. So let's get into the stories here. But first, let's take a look at the chart here. So Bitcoin obviously is down on the day. Right now it's at 55,924. It kind of looks like the resistance showed up to be about 57,500 roughly on the chart here. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. So let's get into the stories here really quick. So Bitcoin eyes 60,000 as active entities surge. Price chart shows impending bull cross. So here's a chart of Bitcoin. We have the 100-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. And then once these cross, we could see another run up higher, right, with the Bitcoin price. So while Bitcoin has gained 30% this month, the user activity on the network, as measured by the 7-day average of the number of active entities, has increased 19% to 284,179, according to data provided by Glassnode. An increase in network adoption along with the price increase is said to confirm the uptrend. So this is good. According to Glassnode, more active market participants has historically correlated with growing interest in the asset during early stage bull markets. So we're possibly in the early stage, right? So this is where we could have a nice parabolic rise up going into the end of this month, November and December, and then possibly early on into next year. So Glassnode defines active entities as a cluster of addresses controlled by the same network entity. The metric includes both businesses like exchanges and custodians and individuals. So you can see it here. Entities are up 19% in October and back to levels that match late 2020. So we are in good shape here. It looks like things may continue to go up higher from here. So the total current tally of active entities is the highest in 5 months and at par with the number observed at the beginning of the bull run in late 2020. Institutional participation has increased along with network adoption, as evidenced by the uptick in the median size of on-chain transactions from 0.6 BTC to 1.3 BTC since September. And increased typical transaction size is not synonymous with price appreciation, but indicative of larger and even institutionalized sized capital flows present on chain. Glassnode said, adding that the dollar value of transaction size has also increased. So the technical outlook appears to be in sync with the bullish on-chain data, with the 100-200-day moving average on track to print a bullish crossover in the next few days, the first in 16 months. So this is obviously huge news. If this happens within the next 5-7 days, who knows when this is going to happen. But when it does happen, this is obviously going to catapult us further into going forward. So a bull cross occurs when a particular moving average crosses above another average, tracking a relatively high number of backward-looking data. The pending bull cross on the 100 and 200-day moving average is widely taken to represent a long-term bull market and may soon invite stronger chart-driven buying pressure. A 10-month bull run from 8,300 to 64,000 followed the previous bullish signal confirmed in June 2020. The cryptocurrency nearly doubled to 13,880 after the bull cross of 100 and 200-day moving averages in early May 2019. So moving averages crossovers, whether bullish or bearish, are not always reliable. These are lagging indicators and sometimes trap traders on the wrong side of the market. For instance, Bitcoin bottomed out near 30,000 following the confirmation of the bear cross of 100 and 200 days. The moving averages can mid-July. So something to be mindful of, but obviously good news here. Next, a little Bitcoin hopium. This chart calls for a new BTC price all-time high by November. So Bitcoin BTC is on track to see new all-time highs for the month and at least 72,000 in November if the latest price data is accurate. In a tweet on Tuesday, Flib, an analyst trading platform, Decentatrader, described what he said was an achievable price target for the month and next. So with October delivering solid bullish results so far, analysts are keen to chart where Bitcoin bull run will lead into Q4. As Cointelegraph reported, some predictions have used historical price comparisons and even simple calculations to deliver near-term BTC USD targets up to 300,000. Wow, okay, so that would be obviously a huge increase from where we are today. That would be a 6x, obviously. So for Flip and move back to previous all-time highs of 6450, 500 and beyond in the coming weeks remains hopium, but the overall bullish Bitcoin market might not need much inspiration to deliver it. So that is good. A bit of good news coupled with the stubborn hodlers through, though, and it's possible stranger things have happened, he commented. Despite the upward trajectory, however, he added that now is not the time to take on risk, advising traders not to use extensive leveraging for long or short positions. So obviously something to be mindful of, but this is obviously good news here. So we saw this, the chart here, comparison from Flip. So this is the 2021 and 2017. Previous Black subsidy having, according to a rematch of all-time highs by the end of October, seems possible, this matching existing forecasts. So great news here, something to be mindful of as well, but obviously good news here. Next, we have Swiss. Think tank initiates votes to add Bitcoin in federal constitution. So successful or not, the vote will bring crypto education to people who are not yet Bitcoin savvy, 2B4CH founder said. So 2B4CH is Swiss nonprofit think tank assisting the state in exploring cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, BTC, and blockchain technology, is launching an initiative that can make Bitcoin one of the country's reserve assets. So obviously we're seeing that adoption, right? More and more countries are looking into getting it as a reserve, as a currency, and things like that. So the more adoption we have, obviously the price of Bitcoin is going to go up. Supply and demand economics at work here. So on Friday, the association announced plans to start a popular federal initiative by collecting 100,000 signatures for the introduction of Bitcoin to Article 99, Clause 3 of the Swiss Federal Constitution. The initiative specifically proposed to add Bitcoin to the list of assets held by the Swiss Central Bank, which would change the constitutional clause to the Swiss National Bank shall create sufficient currency reserves from its revenues. Part of these reserves shall be held in gold and Bitcoin. So obviously good to see there. If the signatures are gathered successfully, the vote will legally have to happen, and so will the conversations and debates, eventually informing and educating better everyone in Switzerland and hopefully worldwide as we set the example. So I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right. Benaim said, we hope the vote will be successful, but even if it isn't, it will already be success if the topic is brought to the public debate. So that is always great to see, right? You always want to see that narrative of Bitcoin being put out there for the public to debate, to talk about it, and get everybody's attention in it. So if the vote is successful, the Swiss National Bank, or SNB, will need to learn how to add Bitcoin to its reserves, holding it in the best and safest way, which would make Switzerland one of the world's leading nations in the industry and benefit its economy on many levels. Benaim stated, adding, such an addition to the Constitution would affect people in Switzerland in a similar way the Silicon Valley and London Stock Exchange have benefited the people of their respective countries. Also stated, when this phase is successfully finished, it will take months or even years before the vote is actually taking place. So got a bit of ways to go, but at least we got the conversation going in Switzerland on this as well. Next is Venezuela. Venezuelan International Airport to accept Bitcoin payments report. So here's a quote: we must advance in these new economic and technological systems to be accessible. I'm going to butcher this. I know I'm going to butcher this name. Maquilleta, airport director, said. According to Maquilleta, airport director Freddie Borges, the airport plans to accept many cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Dash, and Venezuelans' oil-pegged digital currency, the Petro. He said the airport's administration would introduce new payment options in coordination with Venezuela's national superintendents of crypto assets and related activities. The introduction of crypto payments at the Maquilleta airport would mark the company's commitment to advance toward international standards and drive digital currency adoption. Borges noted, according to the executive, the crypto payment option would benefit foreign tourists, including those from Russia. So obviously they have a lot of tourists coming in from Russia. We also have in here that in March, Latvian Airlines Air Baltic started accepting Ether and Doge as payments for tickets after rolling out crypto payments back in 2014. So again, you're seeing that more and more of that adoption is happening as time goes on, and it's just going to have a snowball effect. You know, a little snowball to start with, it's going to get really big at the end. So in my opinion, this is all great news. We obviously have to keep an eye on it, and then we'll have to see as far as what the Bitcoin price does. But we may have a simple pullback here before it goes up higher. And let's get into the last story here. So Bakkt crypto exchange partners with Google for payments. So millions of retailers currently accept Google Pay as a form of payment, potentially giving Bakkt to users the ability to pay in crypto at a variety of stores and online markets. So this is obviously a huge adoption news as well for those of you that are in crypto, like myself. A lot of us are hodling it, and some of us are spending it, but this would give us definitely an option to spend, some of the money that we have accrued through investing in these. So users who hold debit cards issued by cryptocurrency exchange Bakkt will be able to convert their crypto balances to make fiat payments using Google Pay. In a Friday announcement, Bakkt said it had partnered with Google to allow its users to purchase goods and services using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies through the Google Pay wallet and payments systems. In addition, Bakkt plans to build new analytics and geolocation functionality on its platform using Google Cloud tools. The exchange hopes that the features will expand loyalty redemption options while providing Bakkt partners with valuable consumer behavioral patterns. So they're going to make money on it. That way, probably selling your data as far as what you're using. Not too happy about that, though. This partnership is a testament of Bakkt's strong position in a digital asset marketplace to empower consumers and to enjoy their digital assets in a real-time, secure, reliable manner, said Bakkt CEO Gavin Michael. And then according to Google, millions of retailers currently accept Google Pay as a form of payment, potentially giving Bakkt users the ability to pay in crypto at supermarkets, pharmacies, restaurants, clothing stores, gas stations, beauty shops, and others. The Bakkt partnership will follows major crypto exchange Coinbase's June announcement that Apple Pay and Google Pay would offer support for its Coinbase card. Gemini has also allowed its users to purchase crypto with Apple Pay and Google Pay since April. So obviously all of these news stories are for adoption, right? So you're seeing that this is just one story after another after another. It's coming in daily now where you're seeing this kind of adoption happening, and we're within the next couple months, I would say it's 3 to 6 months, there's going to be a lot more adoption than where we are today with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So I think we're really getting into this bull market here really well here. But time will only tell, right? So as always, be cautious, do your own advice, and invest, with some common sense here. So let's get into the charts here really quick. So like we talked about Bitcoin earlier, Bitcoin's at 55,937 right now. It's obviously had a pullback. It obviously went below our support that we had reached the day before, fell below it. So now it's kind of like resistance again at 57,000. RSI is coming down. Volume isn't too bad. We had nice volume yesterday. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Volume yesterday was 13.387 thousand Bitcoin, it looks like. Today we're only at 9.25 thousand. Ethereum is also down, not as much as Bitcoin has obviously bounced off of the 20-day moving average, which is kind of nice to see that we've been bouncing off of it here yesterday and today, and we're going above it as well. So we'll just have to see. Our obviously resistance here is at 3,950 roughly. RSI is still looking good. There's still plenty of room to run, so it's good to see that Ethereum is not going down as much as Bitcoin is right now. Cardano is obviously now trading down below our wedge that we had drawn here. Seems like it's following this trend line here lower, so that's a little concerning. RSI is coming down and volume is low, so we'll have to keep an eye on Cardano, see what happens there. Looks like this line here. Oh, I didn't want that. Let me see here if we can extend this line here that we drew earlier. Oh, no. Why isn't this allowing me to draw it? Don't want to do that. I want to do this. Give me this line. There we go. So it's at least bouncing off of this line here that we drew a while back, which is kind of acting as support at $2.13 roughly. All right, so let's take a look at Hedera hash graph. Hedera hash graph went below the 20-day or the 50-day moving average and it's bounced up above it. It's been kind of bouncing between the 20 and the 50-day moving averages. So obviously we want to see it bounce above the 20-day for a continued run up higher. We'll have to keep an eye on that one as well. Litecoin is at 172. It is also bouncing off of the 20-day moving average right now, which is above it, which is good to see. And it bounced off of our line here that we drew at 166 as possible resistance and support line. It's acting as support right now, which is good. And then Dogecoin is at 22.45. And then that one is just falling below all the lines as well. It has fallen below the 200-day moving average, which isn't good to see. So we'll have to monitor that one as well. Solana is at 149. It is bouncing off of the 50-day moving average, kind of like Cardano is a little bit. So, RSI is looking good. Volume isn't too bad. Volume right now is at 159 million. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Stellar bounced off of the, what is that? That is the 50-day moving average, and it's now above the 200-day moving average, which is kind of good to see. So we'll have to monitor that one as well. RSI has still got plenty of room to run if it wants to, but it can now obviously fall back down too. So something to be mindful of. What else do we have here? Shiba. Shiba is down 7 cents, or 7% actually. It's down to 0.000223 something, or 2.2844. It is down as well with everything else. So take a look at the mining stocks real quick here. Hive is down right now 21 cents on the day. It's 6.75% down. Bitfarms is down 36 cents, almost 7% down. Hut is down 58 cents, 5.5% down. Mara is down $2.58, 6% down. And Riot is down 226, almost 8% down to 25. So obviously Bitcoin goes down, everything else goes down. Looks like Hedera Hashgraph is starting to pull up a little bit at 3%, almost 4% up. And Solana is starting to go up as well. So that's it. A lot of good stuff out there today, guys. A lot of good stories with continued growth as far as adoption goes in Bitcoin. The users, everything else is growing good. So we'll just have to keep an eye out for a couple of days, see where things go. But right now I'm seeing it as a bullish trend going into the end of the year and possibly early next year. But all it takes is one little story and one FUD story, and then everything crashes down 15-20%. So be mindful of that. Be careful out there. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.